Hey, what's going on YouTube? I have another deck profile video for you today. This is the OP08 version of Boa. As you guys know, I mained Boa towards the end of set 7, and like 7.5. I really do like the leader. I think it's a very staple leader now with a generic effect that does what blue wants to do while giving you a generically great ability, right? And so we'll quickly go over it. Boa is a mono blue leader, 5k power with a special attribute. This art is from a custom that I've done. It's available on my website as well. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so Boa, your turn once per turn. This effect can be activated when a character is removed from the field by your effect. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw 1 card. And so she has the 7 Warlords of the Sea tag and Kuja Pirates tag, 5 life leader. And so this is a very good ability. It could be removed from the field on your side or your opponent's side. So whether you're bouncing a character back to your hand or removing your opponent's character, you'll get to draw as long as you have 5 or less cards in hand. And so very strong to be able to continue to draw while doing what blue likes to do, which is removal, right? Removal by bouncing or bottom decking. And so we will talk about the deck, kind of what it wants to do, some of the tech choices that were made, but then also I will give you guys a update on what I would consider adding in once the starter deck's released. And so with that being said, let's go through. Let's talk about our searchers first. So it might look a little weird, but we are running Sengoku Searcher. This is your staple 1-drop 2k, 1k power. On play, you get to look at the top 5 cards and reveal a 7 Warlord type character and add it to your hands. Then place the remaining in the bottom of the deck in any order. And so very good at drawing your Warlord's engine. We are running a much lighter Warlord's engine, but it gets to still pull us our Dofi blocker, a Jinbei, Moria, a 2k B-Hawk, as well as our event. And so still has lots of value and lots of hits, but a little bit lighter, right? Because we are playing a second searcher, which is Tashigi, and that may look weird, but we're running 3 copies of this, but on play, you get to look at the top 5 cards and reveal 1 Navy card type other than Tashigi and put it in your hand, place the rest in the bottom deck in any order. So you might be thinking, why are we doing that? Well, Tashigi can pull our Sengoku. We are playing the Monkey D Garp that draws you 2 cards and you return 2 cards in the top or bottom of your deck in any desired order. So this is a solid 2k and drawing deeper into your deck. But also, most importantly, it grabs us our Gravity Blade, which in this meta has become more important than ever, where we're just flooding the board. This card becomes more and more, gets you more and more value, right? And so it's a great way to search in a little bit deeper. Oftentimes I found myself playing Tashigi just to grab a Sengoku, just to grab a target for Jinbei. I know that sounds kind of weird, but sometimes this is what you got to do to really see the pieces that you need. But yeah, so far I've been really liking it, and the reason why I like it even more is because these are really easy targets to bounce back with Jozu. This is the OP08 card. It's a 6 cost, 7k power, 1k counter, and on play you may return one of your characters other than this card to your hands, then return up to 1 cost 6 or lower character to the original owner's hand. So if you're going second, you're bouncing back basically anything your opponent plays because it hits the 6 cost, which is really high. And so with this deck, we're just honestly trying to keep our opponent's board clear while we're just establishing our board and leading up to our boss monsters at the end. And so the other non-warlord cards that we're running, Kaya, again, same concept. It's a 1-drop that we can bounce with Jozu, but also it digs us deeper into our deck to really find the pieces that we want to see per match. And last but not least, it's the Pudding. Have to run 2 copies of these. She just has so much value across a lot of the matchups, but it's a 4 cost 4k body with 1k counter. On play, your opponent returns all the cards in their hand to their deck, shuffles it, then draws 5 cards. And so oftentimes like black, yellow Luffy, even Bonney players and Lucci players can sometimes have these ginormous, gigantic hand sizes. And so yeah, just being able to force them to go down to 5 again and then start swinging really throws a wrench into your opponent's plans. And so very good card. We run it at a 2 of. We'll go over the full Warlords package. We are running 3 copies of the Blocker Dofi. It's a 3-cost 4K from OP01 with 1K counter. It is a blocker, and it allows us to set up the next 5 cards in our deck. We look at the top 5 cards, and we can choose to put them back on the top or bottom in any order that we want. And so we're doing a lot of deck fixing and a lot of drawing in this deck. And so it can be quite consistent, which I really do like about this leader and this iteration. But it's also, yeah, it does have a few tough matchups. I don't think it's tier 1 by any means. I think it could be in the very low end of tier 1.5, but yeah, it still is a very strong and fun deck. We're running 4 copies of Jinbei. I think any Warlords deck would be much weaker if this card didn't exist. It's a 4-cost 5K body with 1K counter, and on play, you get to just straight up play 1 cost 4 character or lower that has a 7 Warlords type tag other than Jinbei from your hand. And so he's cheating out our things like Dofi, our Moria, a Mihawk, and so he does have less targets in this because we're running a smaller Warlords package, but it still is quite valuable. And the Moria is quite good still. He's a 4-cost 5K, 1K counter. On play, you get to add up to 1 7 Warlords of the Sea or Thriller Barks type character with a cost of 4 or less other than Gecko Moria from your trash to your hand. And so he's grabbing you back your 2Ks, your Jinbeis, and your Dofi blockers to recycle. And so very strong, very, very strong card. It just sometimes can feel like your hand size is never going to fall below 5 in this deck. And so we really like that. And last but not least, we're playing the Mihawk. He's just a 4-cost 5K, 2K counter, and then if you attach it onto him, when attacking, he draws you 2 cards and trashes 2 cards from your hand. And so, again, further deck drawing and just milling stuff from your hand that you may not need. For our top end, we're running a split. You can run 4 copies of either or maybe just 3 of one and 1 of the other, or just have 3. This is really just preference, but I'm running 2 copies of the 10-drop 12K Kaido that draws you 4 on play. Just remember, your opponent has to have 3 or less life to draw the 4 cards. Don't make the mistake of playing this if they're not lower than 3 life, and it'll just be a 10-12 vanilla. But we're also playing this Kaido as a 10-12. On play, get to return 1 character with a cost of 8 or less to the hand, and a character of 3 or less to the opponent's hand. And so, just a good card just to bounce some annoying wider boards. He can tempo you that way as well, and kind of play into the game plan of this deck. And so that's why I'm choosing the 2-2 split. Honestly, most games I feel fine seeing either or. And then we'll go into the events. We're running 4 copies of Red Rock. Yeah, this is just your standard 6-cost. Activate main, place 1 character at the bottom of its owner's deck. And it has a great trigger. You get to place 1 character with a cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. And so both a great main effect and trigger effect just to control the board. And it has no cost restriction on what you can bottom deck. And so you can even bottom deck a Jack, right? And so very good. And then last but not least is the 4 copies of the 7-cost Gravity Blade, which lets you place 2 cost 6 or less characters in any order at the bottom of the owner's deck. And so very good and wide removal. So 1 hits high, 1 hits wide. We're running 4 of each because our game plan is just to keep flooding the board on our end, but just removing the opponent's board. And so with the new starter, we do want to add in this law, the starter 17 law. He's a 4-cost 5K power with 1K counter. And on play, you may return 1 of your characters to its owner's hands. And then if you have the 7 Warlords type tag, or if your leader has that, you can return one cost 4 or lower character to its owner's hand. So this is just another great option that we're going to be able to play with Jinbei. Bounce back are things like Kaya, Sengoku, and Tashigi, and just really mitigate our opponent's board. They don't get to play, well, we get to play, right? And so I do think it gets quite a significant power spike with this card. I would definitely add 4 of them, maybe lowering like a Moria by 1 and a Dofi blocker by 1, and some other ratios here. You can kind of adjust for it, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be running 4 of these once 8.5 releases. And so with that being said, let's just get into some gameplay. Alright, so we're up against a Lucci player. We're going to go second. Very interesting. We definitely mulliganed his hands. Alright, this is a little bit better, but not that much better. So we do need some 7 Warlords. But we do have Gravity Blade and Red Rock, which will be very helpful in this match. He chose the mulligan, and he plays a Spandom. So I definitely think Lucci is very favored in this match too. My goal is to show you just how this deck kind of runs in this iteration. We're going to take this hit. Great. It's another card we can play. Ooh, feels bad, but we're going to actually counter Jinbei here. Perfect. That's what we love to see. So we're going to swing 5. That's all calculated, fam. It's all calculated. So this, grab back to Jinbei and pass. This one I will counter. Looks like he's got the Who's Who. Kind of unfortunate, but I'm gonna have to just hard play this Jinbei here. Or do we just kind of control board? You know what? We're gonna get the extra draw. And then we're just gonna swing 5/5. We'll just try to keep the pressure up. We'll need the Tashigi because I already have a Gravity Blade. It's fine. We can Red Rock this again. Draw another card. And then we'll attack here. Next turn we have the Kaidos coming out. So depending what he plays, we can Kaido. Looks like it'll be the 10 cost of Bounce Kaido. We'll definitely take this. Unfortunate thing is we won't get the draw, but that's okay. We have a lot of cards in hands. We'll take that. Here we will Gravity Blade, send those 2 to the bottom. Play this. I'll place it on top because I want to grab that Moria. We're going to swing 5 and then swing 12. It's dropping a Lucci here. We're going to counter this hit for sure. Because we can grab back one of these guys. Let's deploy this into this. We'll grab back Jinbei, deploy Jinbei into this. We'll grab back a 2K. And then we're going to swing 7. We're going to counter. We will counter. We'll take. We'll use. I think this should be GG. If he has it, he's goated. Nice. So that's game one. Very close. Actually, I had another Gravity Bane left. That's busted. We are playing quite a few Gravity Blades and Red Rocks though, so you can use them a little bit liberally just to keep control of the board. But yeah, let's go into game number 2. All right, so we're up against the Bonney. We're gonna go second here, and we'll choose the Mulligan. This is a little better. I played the baby 5. Here we just pass. They got the 8 Costa Rosinante. They're swinging 6. We will counter. We're going to swing into the baby 5. We'll play the Moria and grab back the 2K and say pass. They have the Cavendish out. That's an annoying card. We will choose to counter that. Doesn't matter what I swing with here because he's going to rest the other. But we will bounce back that Cavendish. We're setting ourselves up for a great pudding turn. We'll take that hit. We will pudding. Let's swing 7. Then we'll play this and grab back that. We'll counter this. We'll take the 8. Oh, easy counter. We'll swing 7. I'm just actually gonna try to. We'll swing 8. I guess we will just bottom deck his Basil. Draw a card and we'll pass. Perfect timing for this Kaido to come out. Let that go. I will actually counter here. Card and we'll say pass. Yeah, this matchup still definitely feels Boa favored, but I do think that Bonney got a few new tricks and tools from 08, but we'll see. My opponent's thinking he replays the Cavendish. He's probably just gonna go for board here, which is absolutely the right call to do. I'm actually going to counter this. It looks like he's going for the Arouge. We'll do that. That was actually like the perfect top deck. I think we just have to ensure that. Oh, okay. He quit. Yeah, we ensured the kill on the Dofi there, but I don't think there was much my opponent could do at that point with the cards that they had in hands. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll end it here. Yeah, Boa still does seem to have some legs. I will say one of the things I would probably do, and I probably talked about this earlier in the video, but I do the deck profile after the game sometimes. But the new cards to consider, definitely that starter 14, or starter 15, 17? Starter 17 law? Oopsie, not red. Blue. Yeah, this guy here, you would definitely want to consider this, adding this card in. You can mess around with some of the Warlords ratios to get this card in, but just the amount of balance and removal that Boa has while being able to draw, it's quite nice. And so, again, thanks for watching, fam. Adakai TCG out.